Hey, I'm Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute. I have a very talented young man with me today. Big OC Diesel is here. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. When you said a very talented guy, I was looking
Oh
behind
my
myself.
God, you're a comedian, an actor, a promoter, an event. You've got all kinds of stuff.
I do everything from a steamboat to a billy goat, but
Yeah, I got it written down here. I'm feel like a woodpecker in a lumber yard. I got shit going on here today.
yes,
I
yes.
wrote down all kinds of stuff. Let's start. You're in Philadelphia.
Yep, Philadelphia.
Were you born and raised in Philadelphia?
South Philadelphia, born and raised. On the
Okay.
corner is where I spent most of my days.
Right. I lived
Yeah,
in Philadelphia, believe it or not.
I feel bad for you.
Yeah, well, and I got to tell you, when I first moved there and stuff, I would come home and I used to tell my mom, used to say, people are so mean. You have to swear at them. I said, I think you have to swear at people in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's a part of what the residency is. Like you're taught in school, you're not taught history or English or math. You taught how to cuss. And that's what you got to do. Like your first period class is cussing a motherfucker out 101. Like that's the yeah, so that's what you learn from kindergarten on up.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe when I moved there. I managed the Sam Goody and King of Prussia, and it was
Damn,
just
Sam
ugh.
Goody. You showing your age of
That
Sam
first
Goody.
day, these guys came in and they wanted to steal a batch of cassette singles, and they had them all lined up. And then I walked over and I grabbed them. I said, "Hey, fellas, how about come to the register now?"
Yeah, that's Sam Goody. Goodness gracious. I know a guy that looks. I know this guy, little heavy set guy, wears a black hat all the time. Is a Steelers fan.
Uh oh,
Um,
yeah, don't get into that. Don't make me
he
do
he
that. It's
he
too
used
early to
to
do that.
he used to steal from Sam Goody.
Yeah, I just did one the other day. The guy said, "Yeah, I used to steal from there." Well, let's get to you. I have in the 90s, you started as the lyrical hitman in a band called the Snipers.
Yeah, it was a little rap group me and a couple of my friends had called the Snipers. It was corny as shit. I ain't gonna lie
Well,
to
no,
you.
I got to, I worked in the music business my whole life.
Yeah,
And I thought lyrical hitman, the Snipers, that's pretty catchy.
yeah, it was. And we had two songs.
Okay.
But we performed a lot of places with
Yeah.
those horrible ass songs. And yeah, I was I was the lyrical hitman. Yep.
Lyrical hitman. You went on to Beat Garden Entertainment,
Beat Garden Entertainment, yeah. In 2001,
right?
I started working at a place called Coconuts. It
I
was
remember
a
Coconuts.
yeah, yeah. So it
I
was a
remember
musical
it.
movie store, and I met a guy named Steven Zales and another guy named Dominic Zarella, and we they rapped, and I was out of the rap game, but I knew I had a lot of connections and stuff, so we started a little entertainment company called
Yeah,
Beat Garden Entertainment, where I managed rappers, producers,
right.
videographers, and singers. So yeah,
Then you
we had
went
a
you,
good run.
then you went on to event hosting and
Yeah,
Beanie Siegel, Jada Kiss, Sean Price, just to name a few.
yeah. I hosted Jadakiss the Champ is here mixtape album release party.
Right.
I was friends and did stuff for Beanie Siegel.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean Price, God rest his soul, was not only somebody whose shows I hosted, but became a good friend of mine. So yeah,
Right.
I've been around the block.
Yeah. Well, and I, as I told you real quick, we just met for people that don't know. I worked in the music business. I worked with Will Smith and P. Diddy and R. Kelly. And
So you've been at the Diddy parties.
I say this all the time. I had dinner with R. Kelly and he didn't piss on me. I had dinner with Will Smith and he didn't slap me. And I met Diddy and I don't think I was his type. Went on to radio host, what is it called? The official street radio.
Yeah, Fisher Street Radio. It started out as a like before all the podcasting stuff became a popular thing.
That's what I
It
thought.
started out it started out as online radio,
Right.
and then it was in syndication on actual FM radio,
Hmm.
and in the DMV area. And he interviewed and hosted parties for a lot of big name
Yeah.
big name people. Oh
Right.
yeah. So yep.
And
You
then,
did your research, man. You did your research.
buddy, look, if you're coming on my show, I want to make sure, first off, it's a matter of respect.
Yeah.
You're giving me your time. I'm going to make sure I got my shit together. 2010, I believe, is when you started doing comedy.
Yep. January 10th of 2010.
Okay.
I always got that like from event hosting because I hosted the events I hosted was a lot of like
Yeah.
open mics and hip hop events and things like that for music.
Hmm.
And I would always go up there, I would rag on, the acts and things of that nature. And I was always told, oh, you're funny, you should try comedy, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. And I never wanted to try it. So a guy named Key West, that I'm still good friends with, he had an open mic that he was
Okay.
throwing on January 10th, 2010. And I told everybody, look, I'm gonna get up here, I'm gonna go on stage, I'm gonna do comedy this weekend one time. You
Okay.
guys better come see it because I'm not doing it no more.
Okay.
And that night, about 40 people showed up
Okay.
to see me, and I wrote a whole bunch of jokes and mess. And when I walked in, I saw these people there that I knew, and I just balled that paper up, and I was like, "Look, I'm gonna just go up here and wing it." And I went up and I winged it, and other than the 40 people, there was a whole bunch of other folks there, and I was like, "Yo, this shit felt good. Like it felt better than anything I've ever
Right.
done on stage or in front of a crowd." And
Okay.
on and off for the last 14 years, I've been doing comedy. Yep.
Okay. Are there comedians that inspired you, when you were younger or whatever, and comedians that you like now?
Like inspiring wise, like I've always been a big fan of Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah.
Um, always been a big fan of his. The Robin Harrises of the world, God rest his
Yeah.
soul. Like Bill
Was it
Burr
Bebe's
is
Kids?
yeah, yeah, Bebe's Kids, yeah.
I know it.
I had the Bebe's Kids cassette tape
Yeah.
before the movie came out. I bought it bootleg in New York.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Bill Burr, like I love Bill
Okay.
Burr.
Yeah.
People like that. People nowadays who inspire me. I like a lot of the Mike Epps of the world. Like I love
Like
Mike
Epps, yeah.
Epps. I love people who are off the cuff. He inspired me then, but also now. But Patrice O'Neal, God rest his soul. Like
Right.
I like people who are more so if you can see the pattern of people I like who are raw, uncut, and speak,
Yeah.
off the hip as well as relatable. Everybody
Yeah.
has that person
Sure.
in their
Sure.
family.
Yeah.
Corey Holcomb's the shock in all people, like I love, like out of the norm. Like people love, I like Kev is from Philly. Met Kev before. I love Kev's comedy, but everybody wants to be Kevin Hart. I'm so like not wanting
Yeah.
on stage, not wanting to be him. Financially, I want to be Kev, but I
Yeah.
don't want to be Kev on
I
stage.
shouldn't say. Well, they always say if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So I'll
Yeah,
just keep quiet. I'm just not.
I
Let's just say I'm not a fan. His
understand you.
shtick gets old with me real quick. I don't know why. Yet, I mean, I grew up on Red Fox and Mom's Mabley and Richard Pryor. That's the stuff. Eddie Murphy. That's the
Right.
stuff that I just loved.
Yeah, and
You
honestly, like I
mentioned
said,
you mentioned Robin Harris, Bernie Mac. That's the
right,
shit that I loved.
like when I mention these folks, like like without saying as a comedian, like I don't have to say the Eddies and and those people and the Richard Pryors because that's already like what I mean.
Yeah,
Those are already like a no brainer when it comes to they have to those guys inspire you. So
yeah.
I normally just name the people. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
more
yeah, yeah,
directly.
absolutely. Let's
Yeah,
move on. Co-founder of Legacy of Laughter.
yeah. Legacy of
That's
Laughs.
your current thing you're doing, right?
Well, Legacy of Laughs is a company that myself and my brother, your brother Isaac Brumfield, we own.
Okay.
It was based in Chambersburg, PA, but we're
That's
doing a
why I
bunch.
brought it up. That's why I brought it up
Yeah,
because It's not only Philly, but Chambersburg, which is right up the road from me.
Yeah, oh yeah. So we do a lot of stuff um in Chambersburg, but we've also put on actually along with A Square Productions and Knock 'em Dead Inc. I mean Knock 'em Dead Entertainment Inc. We put on a couple tours and things of that nature. But Legacy of Laughs LLC is myself and Isaac Brumfield, and we produce comedy shows
Yeah.
once a month in Chambersburg. Yeah.
Okay. Um, you have on Instagram, I think it's on Instagram and on Facebook, professional shit talker.
Yep, that's what I do. I talk shit. I'm sorry, that's what I do.
No,
On
no,
stage and off stage, I
I
talk
didn't
shit.
know that you could get that there's a certification.
Yeah, that's what I do for. I do that for a living. Like other than comedy, and I'm a video game reseller. Uh,
Okay.
that's all I do is comedy and video game reselling for a living. So I
Right.
guess I'm a professional at talking shit. Because even in my video game auctions, I talk shit. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Well, you started to talk shit with me too. With them
yes,
damn
we have.
Steelers shirts.
I'm a
I hate them
Steelers fan.
bastards. I hate them bastards.
I'm sorry, but every Philadelphia.
I can't believe they're in Philadelphia and you wear that damn stuff.
Listen, and the thing is, all my life I've been a Steelers fan and a Lakers fan.
I'm sorry.
2000, 2001, when the Lakers and the Sixers played in the finals, I wore my Lakers jersey, and I live literally. I can sit on my step and hear them cheering at the Phillies games. That's how close I am.
Right.
Uh, Shut up, Elijah. Elijah's calling me and know that I'm on here. But
Really?
yes,
Yeah,
I,
I'm gonna mention him at the end, Elijah the Barber.
but I lived that close, and I would get talked trash about.
Yeah.
But my thing is, all Philadelphia teams. Think about it. All Philadelphia teams are like premature ejaculation. It feels good in the beginning. They're winning, and at the end, it's over fast as hell, and
Oh my
everybody's mad.
God.
And everybody's mad. So
You
yeah,
nailed it. You nailed it. I was an Eagles. I've been an Eagles fan. Well, I became an Eagles fan because, like you, I went to an Eagles game and I was rooting for the other team. And I damn near lost my life. And that's when I thought, well, I live here. Maybe I should become an Eagles fan so I don't lose my life.
nah, I don't care
No,
about
no.
it.
Well, my favorite guy was Kenny Stabler, and he retired. I had lost interest in football, but then living there in Philly. But you are exactly right. All those years, McNabb and all that shit. I kept waiting. Please get me a Super Bowl, just one before I die.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect analogy. Do you have a favorite show out of all you've done in what 14 years or however many years?
Um,
And then the follow up question: a least favorite show,
my favorite show, I did, and I wasn't even supposed to be on the show,
right?
but it was a show at I can't think of the name of the place now. Starlight Ballroom was what the name
I
of it
remember
back
it.
then.
I know it.
But it was a comedy and R&B show. The headliner for comedy was Ray Gordon, and the R&B headliners was Kendrick, the Family Soul.
Okay.
And I went there. I was asked to introduce the host actually, and I went up and I did about 10 minutes, and it was like almost 3,000 people in the crowd, and 3,000 people, and I went up there, and the love I received up there on that stage from that crowd and the energy, like I was on a high for about a week after
I
that. Like I
bet.
did a show or two after that week, but nothing topped that show, and that
Okay.
was every bit of 8 9 years ago, and I still have
Still
that.
remember it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Now, you know I'm an asshole, right? I know
yeah.
we just met, but you'll figure it out. I'm an asshole.
Me too.
I want the least favorite show.
My least favorite show.
See,
I
I
got
already got you smiling.
I
I think
got
that's the
can
first you smiled since we started.
I got kind of two.
Okay,
Two
even
two.
better. Oh my man, you win the prize.
One was I performed at it was like an old folks home,
Yeah.
an old folks center, and it was five of us on the show. I'll never forget it. And they didn't laugh at anybody
Right.
but the headliner. But it was crazy because there was a whole bunch, like it was like a hospital. People were coming down to the room, like the room we were in doing comedy with like the IV poles, like dragging them in there. Like it was the worst. And it was like I'm standing up there on this little stage thing they made, and they're just staring at me like nothing. I don't think I got one laugh that night. I could have lit myself on fire and they wouldn't have been entertained.
You know,
Um,
I got to tell you this because a guy named Corey Albert was on the show, and I pay his props because I think it's the best line I ever heard. He talked about doing a show at an old folks' home, and he said, I felt like I was a Life Alert salesman.
yes, listen. I felt like I was up there like advertising a funeral home or something. Like I don't know what it was, but they just
Oh,
looked at me
man.
like,
Right, right, right.
and I'm up there like 10 minutes. And if anybody out there does comedy, like 3 minutes seems a long time, five
Oh, my
minutes seems
God.
a long time. But if you're up there for 10 minutes
And it ain't
and
happening.
nobody's laughing, no laughter. And it was like I had to do the whole 10 minutes to get my money.
Right, right.
Um, and the second least favorite,
Okay.
um, recently, it's maybe
All
about
right.
3 or 4 months ago. Uh, Me and a couple of my homies, Elijah and a Grizzly comedian, we performed at a mental health center, and it was a cool. I'm not saying least favorite. It was cool, but it was a packed house. Like they brought all the patients down to the auditorium. We're in there, and I had to headline this thing, and it was the worst because I didn't know whether I was funny or not until like until like 10 seconds later. Because I'll say the joke and then hit the punch, and it would be quiet, and then like 10 seconds later, somebody's like, and it would like everybody would start laughing. So it was like, what the hell is going on here? So, but yeah, it was like the most delayed laughter that I've ever gotten.
It
So
took
yeah,
him a while. It
yeah,
took him a
it took
while
them a
to,
while. Yes, to
and then
catch
once
it.
got, that's funny.
Like
I saw,
I'm in mid next joke, and they start laughing at the one before.
hey, at least I'm keeping up with you. I saw a couple videos, one from way back, and then I saw one recently you posted because you have a really cool, and I'll put all the links to your YouTube. You have a huge following on Instagram, obviously Facebook. I don't know, do you do TikTok too?
Um, my son just started.
Okay.
My son just started like linking me with TikTok a bit.
I looked
Yeah.
for it. I didn't see it, but I was gonna put all the links, and I will put all the links in this when I air it. But I wanted to ask you because I saw a couple videos where people heckle you.
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't go so well for them.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, right.
Very bad idea. Like I said, I'm a professional shit talker. So understand and know what you're getting into when
Yeah,
like I said, I South Philadelphia born and raised on a corner
right.
is where I spent most of my days. I
Yeah.
stood on a corner, doing some salesman work that I probably shouldn't have been. But that's all we did was rag and talk and roast each other.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
and I've been fat all my life.
Yeah,
So it's to the point where I've heard every big joke or roast you could say to me.
right.
So, if I'm on stage and you get up there and you interrupt me, I feel sorry for you. That's
You're
all I'll
gonna
say.
get it. You get the business end of the poker.
Yeah. Like I'm glad you came to the show, but I'm gonna make you the show.
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly what you did both times.
Mhm.
You tore him up.
Well, I
Do you?
appreciate you for like that.
I noticed, and I saw again. I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this, but I had enough, obviously, to put a lot of stuff down. You do a lot of Instagram, the reels, and you have a good following there. Do you enjoy doing those?
Like I said, I'll be 50 next year.
I know. Well, I'm
So
getting to hey, happy belated birthday. I was getting to that. Your
thank
birthday
you.
was November 4th. Happy belated birthday.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff, like the reels and the TikToks and all that stuff, I'm just getting like learning. My son is teaching me this, who's 27.
Okay.
But I enjoy the feed. I've been enjoying the feedback. I've been seeing a lot more followers come along because of it. Um, yeah, I forgot the hell what the fuck the question was,
Well, just
but
I guess
yeah,
okay because you and if you've been doing comedy, there's a like the professional comedians that have been doing comedy for a long time, and then there's the Instagram, TikTok folks that can pack a room, but they're not very good comedians, and there's some resentment there. But yet, I have to admit, like I watched yours today, and a couple of those reels, they're just a clip of someone. There was a white woman who was talking about black men, and you called the NAACP and said, "I don't want to be black anymore." I was fucking
yeah,
howling. There was
yeah.
another one you did. The black lady that had three kid should three what you call them? Three childs,
Oh, yeah, the four childs.
four childs. And what I love about it, because there's another guy does that, Mark Trinidad, where he plays a clip and then he comes on at the end and your facial reactions and stuff. It's just gold.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I'm actually when I noticed that it was almost time to start the reel. I mean, when to start the live here. I was actually editing one that I'm going to post later,
Yeah.
of a young lady. But yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, I've started to like that type of stuff, man.
Yeah.
And I'm actually from it. Uh, I have a segment that I'm going to start doing soon,
Okay.
called Diesel Views, and it's just
Right.
going to be my views on, like, my first reaction on certain stuff, man. And
Sure.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love that stuff, man.
Well, and I think you're playing to your strong suit because you mentioned your comedy and the way that you believe in doing real shit, stuff that happens, you know. In other words, I can't equate to what you are, to your level. But one of my favorite bits was one time that I called Comcast or Xfinity and got fucked
Mm.
around, and I was cursing, representative, God damn it, a representative. I was screaming at the phone, and yet that came off really funny, but it was really true.
Yeah, but you know what burns me up, is, and I've heard someone else say this, but it made me think, and it burns me up. Like when you call, or they call you and say, "Oh, well, press one," for English, and you
Right.
press one for English, and then you get like a fucking foreigner on the phone.
Hello, thank you for calling Comcast. My name is Chip.
Yes, and then they can't understand you. You can't under That shit burns me the hell up, man. But when it comes to bill collectors, a guy calls and he's like, "Yeah, can I speak to, OC or whatever?" He called me my name, and I'm like, it's me or whatever. So he's like, "Wait, can you pay the bill? You're behind, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "No, right now, financially, I can't do it." And he's like, "Well,
Right.
there's nobody, that you could borrow the money from, blah blah blah." So I'm like, "What's your name, man?" And he told me his name. I was like, "Yo, well, we're friends. Can you borrow me $20? I mean, loan me $20 so I can pay this bill?" And he's like, "I can't do that." I'm like, "Well, we're friends. You're supposed to hook me up, right?" And that type, like that, people are stupid, man. Like real stupid. So
There's your first diesel thoughts.
yeah,
Bill
my first decent
collectors.
use.
I
Yeah, Bill
used to
collector.
years ago. This was in the old answering machine. I used to say, "Hey, this is Scott. Leave me if you're a friend of mine. Leave me a message. If you're a bill collector, hang up before the tone."
They should.
No,
They
they
definitely
have they're the worst, man. But it sure beats paying if you keep the electrical one.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
But
I've been through
certain
that.
bills I gotta pay. Like I gotta pay the electric
Yeah.
because that keeps my refrigerator running. Yeah.
I
And
like the way you think.
yeah, like the gas, I'm not too much worried about that because I can put food in the microwave.
Right, right,
But the
right.
electric is on, so that'll work. So
Um, I want to make sure that we covered everything. I know you mentioned Elijah the Barber, and I think I saw on Facebook you guys have a show or two coming up.
yeah, well, one Elijah and I, we do a bi-monthly show
Okay.
together. Passaic Comedy Club at Miss Silly Blues.
Okay.
And it's every first Wednesday and
Okay.
every fourth Friday of every month. And the next one is the 22nd of November, and that's actually my my birthday celebration. I had
Okay. Yeah,
one
that's
this
right. That's
past
right. I remember seeing that.
I had one this past weekend in Chambersburg, and then was the one closer to home, which is at Massili Blues on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Um, and then
Man
we're
after
back
my heart that celebrates his birthday 2 or 3 times. I'm all about
yeah,
that.
the whole month. Is my birthday,
Birthday
so
month. Okay.
yeah. And then
I like the way you think.
I think the fourth Elijah and I are back at Miss Silly Blues with
Okay.
um with the first Wednesday, which is poetic laughter, and that's the it's like a poetry comedy, like more
Yeah.
of an open mic, but we structure all of our shows, open mic or not, as a show. So the first hour is poetry, and we have a featured poet, and
Okay.
then the last hour and a half is comedy. So that's
Okay.
the 4th of December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, any other shows or anything? Again, we mentioned that you're going to start doing this um, diesel thoughts or whatever it is. But
Yeah,
anything
Diesel's
else that you have coming up? Again, I was impressed with your YouTube channel. Well, you have 900 subscribers or something, 985 subscribers.
right. Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, like I said, I'm just like I've been on and off with comedy since 2010. I'm on, through health problems and things that made me
Sure.
stop. So now I'm getting back up and running.
Good.
So a lot of things will be channeled through my YouTube or my Instagram.
Instagram,
Um,
Facebook, all
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and Facebook and all that stuff.
Okay.
So, and I will be, on TikTok soon also. So, but yeah, a lot of that stuff will be going on to those platforms, as well as I have to update my website, which is,
Yeah.
bigocdiesel.com. But like
Yeah.
I
I
said, I
put
got a
again,
lot of
I went
stuff.
over there. That's where I got a lot of the stuff, and you're an amazing guy.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. I
You
appreciate
really
you for
are. You really are. And listen,
for
anything I can do, I've been blessed to have a few followers and this and that. And, I have some pretty big stars coming up. And I've had some pretty big stars on. And, someone like you who's just good enough to come on the show. I'm so grateful to have any comedian come on. And, I'll do whatever I can to help you. I'll have you back in a few months or whatever, promote whatever you want to promote, and we'll catch back up. Anything you want to tell us then.
yeah, likewise, man. Anything that you need from me or or my team,
Can you
like I
help
said.
pay my electric bill?
Listen, one thing for sure, too, for certain, if the extension cord's long enough, like, you can plug it in,
Go over to my
and tap
neighbors.
off of mine, because I get budgets now. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
That's
I
good
got you,
thinking.
man.
Good thinking. Hey, there
Anything
is
from
one thing I
$20 on
forgot.
anything.
There's one thing I forgot. Are you related to Vin Diesel?
No, I'm not related to Vin Diesel. Like he kind of, thinks, that we're family, but he could be my play cousin. You know what I mean? I need somebody light skinned in my family. Get me
I'm
out of
just
Warren
being an
ticket.
asshole. I was holding on to that one. I thought, do I want to do that one or not? And then finally we hear at the end, I thought, well, I'll throw it caution to the wind. Yeah, you don't look at all like Vin Diesel.
No, I look a lot better.
Yeah. You
My
can't wait till
physique is actually
tomorrow.
better too.
You're
I'm
better looking every day.
I keep telling people I'm skinny. My clothes are fat, so
Yeah.
my physique is actually better than his.
I'm getting big as a house, man. I'm enjoying, but you know what? You said about turning 49, or you're going to be 50 if we just turned 49. I'm 62. And man, if at any point in my life I want to enjoy myself, it's now.
Bro, listen, like I don't want to be a and I don't know how much time we got left, but I
We don't
don't
have a
want to be
lot.
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. But in 2020, I was given 5 days to live.
Yeah.
You know, and I
No,
went
you
through a
you
lot of
have that on your
therapy.
Facebook page at the top that what
Yeah,
I've been through would have killed a lot of you. Yeah, and I did
yeah,
see that.
I was given 5 days to
You were
live.
shot
Um,
twice.
No, I was shot at. I was shot at, but I was stabbed like in my life, not in 2020, but only from 2020 till now. The stuff I've been through, man. I had
Yeah.
to learn how to walk again. Was bedridden 11 and a half months, things of that nature. So after that, I just told myself,
Yeah.
man, I said, look, I want to live life with no regrets, man.
Yeah.
So
Good for
every
you.
I live every day like it's my last day,
Yeah.
and like you said, man, like I'm just having fun, man. Like
Yeah. Good.
um, I I eat what the hell I want.
Yeah.
I eat
Me
a lot
too.
differently now, but it's like, man, like you said, you're in your 60s. I'll be 50. Like, I've been through a lot in life, man. Nervous
Yeah.
breakdowns, drug
Uh,
addiction,
brother.
and it's like now, bro, I get on stage and I just have fun, man. And that's
Good.
all I
Good.
want to do, man. I just want to
I
have fun because life is short, bro.
I live each day to its fullest, you know. I thank
Yeah,
God for each day.
yeah,
And
man.
hey man, thank you so much. And you are wonderful. And I forgot to mention that you've been through a lot. And it
Yeah,
does
man.
my 11-year-old nephew was killed in a jet ski accident. And when
Mm,
that happened, I prayed to God, take me, don't take him. And it didn't turn
yeah.
out that way. And that was kind of the reset for me where it's like, you know what, life is precious.
It is, man.
You
Like,
know, thank God for each day and have fun and just approach it the right way.
listen, man. July 26th was the worst day of my life, bro. I got
Yeah,
a call July 26th that my mother died,
yeah,
and it killed me. But a couple of days later, I had to be on stage, and
yeah.
I had to do it,
She wanted, I'm
for
sure she would have wanted you to do it.
right.
Yeah,
And then 3 days after burying her, my father-in-law, I've been with my wife 29 years. He passed 3 days after burying her.
yeah,
And a couple of days later, I was on the road again. But
yeah,
one thing for sure and two for certain, man, like that may be my purpose. You know what I mean?
yeah,
To go out there through it all. And my series in Chambersburg is called Laugh Therapy
yeah,
because it gives therapy to other folks, but it also gives therapy to me.
yeah.
So that's what we just got to look at it, man.
Well,
Like life is
I know
precious,
this
man.
isn't a pissing contest, but you're right. That was another catalyst for me. My father died, and 1 week after my father died, my mother had a heart attack, and they said that they couldn't keep her in the hospital because they couldn't do anything to treat her. And
Yeah.
that was one of the darkest times in my life.
But the thing is, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. It made me stronger,
Yeah, you pull
and it
from it.
made, and it made me better. Honestly, made me better as a comedian because I'm
Yeah,
working on this bit about my mom right now, and I tried it out like 3 times, and piecing it together, and the crowd just laughed their ass off at it. So
good.
shout out to mom.
I'm gonna have you
You know,
back, but
you
listen, we
know.
got to do it because we are running out of time.
All right,
And
brother.
it is Big OC Diesel, right? That's how you want me to
Yep,
say it.
yep. Big OC Diesel. You can
Okay, so
find
you
me.
know what time it is, right?
What time is
Okay,
it?
Big OC Diesel, your comedy minute. Go ahead, my friend.
Like I said, pretty much. My mother passed, and one thing about my mom passing is a lot of people, called me after she died. Oh my gosh, what happened? How she died? And I'm just like, she died like everybody else, like this. Like I don't understand, like what it is. My mother was 74 years old. She,
Right.
she had a bad heart. You know what I mean? People ask me like she was on a corner selling weed and somebody came and lit up the block. Like it's not that simple. I mean, it's that simple. She just died. She was 74 years old with a bad heart.
Right.
Um, my niece called me like 20 minutes after my mom died, and she's like, "Hey, so how are we gonna do her hair for the funeral and blah blah blah." At that point, I didn't give a fuck if my mom wore a do rag to the funeral, and we brought brown bag lunches for the repast. I didn't care about none of that shit. People are just stupid when people die, man. And one thing we got to stop doing, folks out there, is when somebody dies, we got to get recent pictures of them. I'm tired of going to funerals and the person that died is like 65 years old, but the picture on their obituary is of them when they was in 8th grade. We need to really, we need to get a hold of some shit out here, man, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
But
funny.
I appreciate you, man, for having me on here today,
Oh
man.
man, it was a pleasure. And you know what? I really do want to have you back and do that whole bit about your mom because that's great stuff.
It is, and like I said, I'm working on it right now. One
Cool.
thing
Cool.
that I will show you respect next time. I'm gonna be honest. I will show you respect next time, and not only just put on a shirt and a hat because right now I got on fucking
Hey,
shorts.
let
My
me
legs
stop
are
the recording so we can talk off the air. I had enough of that. Hold on.